So you know what? Glad it's over. Aquaman 2. Where do I begin, guys? I thought it felt like they were ready to be over with this franchise. You could definitely tell there's some tiresome behavior going on here. And after watching Aquaman 2, was it as bad as I thought? Was it as bad as, or crash and burn as I thought it'd be? Maybe not as much. So there's some enjoyableness to it, especially Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. I think whenever the two of them are on screen and it's a story about two brothers forgiving one another, I really like the movie. I think that movie right there is a really fun movie, buried beneath a lot of rubble here in Aquaman 2, because when Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa are together and they're quipping and they're going back and forth, they're having these brotherly arguments, I really like the movie a lot. I think it's funny. I think the two of them have a lot of chemistry together. They bounce and play off of each other so well. So when it's that movie, I really like it, but it's not that movie the whole time. Unfortunately, there are other things that just come up very short, and so short that the movie itself just does not hold up due to it. And one of those things is the screenplay itself. This script, guys, is just not good. There is some weird line delivery, and honestly, there's like some unnatural dialogue going on in the film that just feels hokey, cheesy, and it's not even like Momoa's usual shtick of funny and goofy. It's not only that is an issue. There are just lines that are so simple and things that happen in the screenplay that don't make as much sense to me. It just unfortunately does not measure up to that first one, in my opinion, where the first one felt a little more tight. It felt a little more structured. Here, things don't feel as structured. For example, Black Manta and his crew and what they're all up to feels like it's a completely different movie from what's going on with Aquaman over here with his brother. So there's a little bit of weird tone shifts going on in this movie, where we go from the brother stuff to Black Manta and what he's up to, and what he's up to just seems so convoluted. So he's trying to actually resurrect King Atlan's brother, who was banished from the 7 cities of Atlantis, and the Lost Kingdom is that brother's kingdom. So that's what Black Manta's up to, and I seen it, and when I saw that, I was just thinking, okay, we're gonna lead to another CGI final boss. We're doing the usual DC thing. But let me back up. There is one more thing I do want to give this movie some props for. It does have some creative cinematography, and you can feel James Wan's influence on the film. He definitely incorporates horror elements again, like he did in the first Aquaman, especially with Black Manta and the laser eyes. And those sequences are actually very interesting, and I really like James Wan bringing his horror style into this. But man, everything else is a mess. I really don't like what they did with Black Manta. I felt like they just used Black Manta as a vessel, and that character, in my opinion, is so much more worth a story. Yahya Abdul-Mateen is a great actor, so I just think they really wasted his potential. They wasted that character. I feel like it's just not enough for the Black Manta character. And of course, from the first film, when we saw Aquaman not kill his father in front of him, but not save his father either, when we saw that, there's also that beat that needs to happen between the two of them, the forgiveness that needs to happen between the two of them. But Black Manta himself, in my opinion, just not well written in this role. Unfortunately, him himself is not in the movie enough. So I wish that they just didn't use him only as a vessel here, because it just feels like such a wasted effort with that character, such a wasted acting talent in Yahya Abdul-Mateen too. Very, very great actor who just got wasted, unfortunately. The movie itself, the pacing is okay. Like I said, the Patrick and Jason stuff is the best, but once we get out of the two of them traveling alone, It just feels like this movie, oddly enough, needs more time, but less because the runtime is enough. But it feels like it needs to be a better use of its time. It's just a little convoluted, unfortunately. And while Jason and Patrick are good, there's some good cinematography, everything else is not great. Amber Heard, man, she's actually in it a little more than I thought she was gonna be. I thought she was gonna be like damn near nixed from it. She had quite a bit of screen time, but still, you could tell there's some awkward cutting, awkward not incorporating of that character. So I really wish either they had cut her, they had done something with the character. It just kind of feels weird sometimes when she just like pops up and then you could see her like try to be cut out of some angles. It's just a little awkward, I think. And I think as people, probably if you're watching this, you know about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. So it makes it a little more awkward because it's like, okay, we know what happened here. So it feels very awkward with Amber Heard scenes where she's just, you could tell there was supposed to be more Mira, but they just cut her out, of course, because of controversy's sake. So little odd with that character. Nicole Kidman was a nice welcome return. Some things didn't make sense with her character, but I did like seeing her on screen again, and Tamara Morrison as well. As we know from the trailer, the dad gets attacked. Black Manta steals their son. I did like the incorporation of the son, of the family element, a father protecting his family. That was another element and theme of this movie I really liked. Really, you got 3 movies going on here. Stop the world from global warming, protect your family, and make up with your brother. And I think the make up with your brother and protect your family aspects were very strong. And I think the stop the global warming and stop King Atlan's brother from coming back was a little rushed and a little underdeveloped, and something I didn't love of the movie. But I loved all the family elements. Momoa as Aquaman, good. He's good, serviceable. I just feel like everybody and every quality of this movie feels tired of the DCEU. To me, it feels like everybody's done. Hurrah, we're finally rid of this universe. And I know for me, personally, this didn't go out with an absolute bang. It sort of squandered out with a squabble, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm ready to move on though. I think now that the DCEU is over, I'm ready for some DCU action. I'm ready for Superman. I'm ready for James Gunn to come in and cook, y'all. So I cannot wait for that, and I'm so excited for the DCU and for Superman Legacy. But Aquaman, unfortunately, just doesn't measure up to be a great DCEU film. A very average entry, unfortunately, along the lines of what I would think of like Black Adam level. Just very middle of the line and middle of the road. Momoa makes it very enjoyable, and so does Patrick Wilson. But unfortunately, they cannot save a mediocre film from being mediocre. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Are you excited for Aquaman 2? Let me touch on one more thing before we get out of here, guys. The CGI, the visual effects, I need to touch really briefly on that, are so uninspired feeling. They just feel kind of boring, kind of thrown in, whatever, let's just throw something in. Atlantis does not look nearly as beautiful and colorful and explorational as the first film. Just feels thrown into the film. Everything feels just thrown in for effort's sake. If I had to give a rating for Aquaman 2, guys, I am going with a, I want to give it a 7. That's a little too high. I think I'm going to go with a 6 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10. Honestly, I think I'm going to land on 5.5. The movie's pretty boring for the most part. There's some decent action in there, but it's not the most exciting. There's some creative camera angles. Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson make it fun. But for the most part, this felt laborious to finish. And I hope for most it's just a fun family affair. They can go in, have a good time. But as a critic, I have to give this one a low score for the fact that the technical qualities of this film just feel so tired. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And hey, are you ready to be done with the DCEU, y'all? Because I'm done. I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to continue on to the new DCU and start a clean slate, y'all. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for your boy Leo Rydell. And we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.